Hello, friends. Are you ready to explore the fascinating world of The Blind Side? Released on November 20th, 2009, this film has sparked endless discussions, and today, we're bringing you all the hidden gems, stunning details, and unforgettable moments. If you enjoy this deep dive, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps our channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting movie explorations. Let's jump right in and uncover the magic together. The Blind Side is more than just a sports drama. It's a testament to the transformative power of kindness and the unbreakable bonds of family. Directed by Lee Hancock and based on Michael Lewis's 2006 book The Blind Side, Evolution of a Game, the film delves into the life of Michael Oher, a young man who rose from a troubled upbringing to become a professional football player. The narrative is both heartwarming and inspiring, offering viewers a glimpse into how compassion can change the trajectory of a life. At the heart of the story is Michael Oher, portrayed by Quinton. Growing up in Memphis, Michael faced numerous challenges, including a lack of stable housing and a fragmented family structure. His life took a pivotal turn when he met Lee and Tui, played by Sandra Bullock, a determined and caring interior designer. Recognizing Michael's potential and need for support, Lee along with her husband Tim McGraw, welcomed him into their home. This act of kindness not only provided Michael with a safe haven but also opened doors to educational and athletic opportunities that had previously seemed out of reach. The film masterfully weaves themes of family, education, and sportsmanship. Viewers are taken on a journey that showcases Michael's growth both on and off the football field. One of the most compelling aspects of the story is Michael's internal struggle with his identity and place in the world. Despite his physical prowess, he grapples with feelings of inadequacy and the fear of being taken advantage of. This internal conflict adds depth to his character and makes his eventual success all the more poignant. Sandra Bullock's portrayal of Lee and Tui is nothing short of remarkable. Her performance earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, and rightfully so. Bullock brings a perfect blend of strength, compassion, and determination to the role. She embodies a character who is unapologetically bold yet deeply caring, willing to go to great lengths to ensure the well-being of her family and those she loves. Her chemistry with Quinton adds authenticity to their on-screen relationship, making their bond believable and heartfelt. The supporting cast also delivers stellar performances. Tim McGraw, known primarily for his country music career, surprises audiences with his nuanced portrayal of Tui. He complements Bullock's performance, creating a dynamic duo that feels both genuine and relatable. Kathy Bates, as Miss Sue, Michael's tutor, adds a touch of humor and warmth to the narrative. Her character serves as a bridge between Michael's past and his potential future, guiding him with patience and understanding. Visually, the film captures the essence of its southern setting. The cinematography paints a vivid picture of Memphis, contrasting the city's vibrant culture with the stark realities of Michael's early life. The football scenes are intense and well choreographed, immersing viewers in the sport's strategic intricacies. However, it's the quieter moments, the family dinners, the tutoring sessions, the heart-to-heart conversations, that truly resonate, highlighting the film's focus on personal growth and human connection. The Blind Side garnered significant attention upon its release, both critically and commercially. The film grossed over $300 million worldwide, a remarkable feat for a drama centered around a true story. Critics praised Bullock's performance, with many considering it a career-defining role. The film received several award nominations, including Best Picture at the Academy Awards, further cementing its status as a cinematic standout. In the heart of Memphis, Tennessee, a young Michael Oher, known as Big Mike, finds himself adrift in a world that seems determined to overlook him. Born to a mother struggling with addiction, Michael's early life is a series of foster homes and instability. Despite his size and presence, he remains largely invisible, a gentle giant navigating a world that seldom notices him. One fateful night, as winter's chill grips the city, Michael walks the streets aimlessly, his breath visible in the cold air. Clad in nothing more than a t-shirt and shorts, he is a stark contrast to the warmth and comfort of the homes around him. It is then that Lee and Tui, a force of nature in her own right, spots him. Without hesitation, she offers him shelter, inviting him into her home for the night. This simple act of kindness is the spark that ignites a profound transformation, not just in Michael's life, but in the lives of everyone he encounters. Leanne's husband, Sean Tuohy, and their two children, Collins and SJ, are initially taken aback by Michael's sudden presence in their home. Their world, filled with privilege and predictability, is disrupted by this unexpected guest. Yet, as days turn into weeks, Michael becomes an integral part of their family. SJ, with the earnestness only a child can possess, takes Michael under his wing, introducing him to the nuances of their world, from the intricacies of their faith to the rhythms of their daily life. As Michael settles into his new environment, he faces challenges that are both foreign and daunting. The academic world is a labyrinth of terms and expectations he has never encountered. Yet, with the unwavering support of the Tuohys, he begins to navigate this new terrain. Miss Sue, a no-nonsense tutor with a heart of gold, is brought in to bridge the gap between Michael's past and his potential future. Her methods, though unconventional, are effective, pushing Michael to confront his limitations and surpass them. The community's reaction to Michael's integration is a tapestry of emotions. Whispers of skepticism and concern swirl around the Tuohy family's decision. Some question their motives, suggesting that their actions are driven by a desire for accolades rather than genuine compassion. Yet, as the Tuohys stand firm in their commitment to Michael, these doubts begin to dissipate, replaced by admiration and support. The film masterfully weaves moments of levity with profound emotional depth. A family dinner, where stories are exchanged and laughter fills the room, contrasts sharply with a tense meeting with NCAA investigators. This meeting casts a shadow over Michael's burgeoning future, as questions arise about the Tuohy's influence on his college decisions. Yet, through it all, the family's unity remains unshaken, their bond a testament to the transformative power of love and acceptance. As Michael's story unfolds, it becomes evident that this is not just a tale of a young man finding his way. It is a story of a family rediscovering their capacity for unconditional love, of a community confronting its biases, and of a society grappling with its notions of race, privilege, and responsibility. The film challenges viewers to reflect on their own perceptions and actions, urging a re-evaluation of what it truly means to be a family. In the end, The Blind Side is more than a movie. It is a mirror held up to society, reflecting its flaws, its potential for goodness, and its capacity for change. It is a reminder that, sometimes, the most profound journeys begin with a single act of kindness, and that the true measure of a person is not found in their circumstances, but in their heart. In the heart of Memphis, Tennessee, Michael Oher's journey unfolds, a tale of resilience, family, and the pursuit of dreams. After embracing his new life with the Tuohy family, Michael's transformation is nothing short of remarkable. Under the guidance of his adoptive mother, Lee and Tuohy, he delves into academics, improving his grades and athletic skills. This progress catches the attention of college recruiters, leading to a pivotal moment where Michael must choose a university. The Tuohy's alma mater, the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, becomes a focal point, raising questions about their influence on his decision. This scrutiny culminates in an NCAA investigation, challenging the integrity of Michael's recruitment. In a moment of doubt, Michael confronts the Tuohys about their intentions, seeking clarity on their motives. This confrontation leads him back to his roots, where he faces past challenges and reaffirms his commitment to the Tuohy family. Ultimately, Michael chooses Ole Miss, solidifying his path to a professional football career. The film concludes with real-life footage of Michael's success, highlighting his achievements and the enduring support of the Tuohy family. Michael Oher begins the story as a quiet, almost ghost-like figure, physically imposing yet emotionally withdrawn. His presence is heavy but soft, an unusual combination that actor Quinton portrays with a deep, steady sensitivity. We see a young man who's learned to shrink into the background of every space he occupies, despite his size. He speaks little, rarely makes eye contact, and has no expectations from the world, because the world has given him nothing. What makes Michael compelling isn't just his vulnerability, but the way he slowly reclaims his identity. Through small, consistent acts of kindness and belonging, he starts to believe in his worth. Aaron's performance is all about restraint. He doesn't need big speeches or dramatic outbursts. Everything is in the eyes, the posture, the silences. You feel his pain without him needing to express it. That quiet evolution, watching someone who has been emotionally homeless his whole life find a place to belong, is the emotional core of the film. The person who ignites that transformation is Lee and Tui, brought to vivid, unforgettable life by Sandra Bullock. Lee is fiery, direct, protective, and smart, with an instinct for doing the right thing, even if it's uncomfortable. From the moment she sees Michael walking alone in the cold, she doesn't hesitate. She acts. And it's this instinctive, almost feral sense of justice that defines her. Lee doesn't see herself as a hero, which is key. She doesn't need to be thanked or praised. She just does what feels right. Bullock, in arguably her most layered performance, shows Lee's internal conflict with quiet grace. She's navigating the judgment of her peers, the complexity of raising a black teenager in a predominantly white, affluent world, and the challenge of not just housing someone, but truly knowing them. Her arc isn't just about giving, it's about growing. She's learning to see beyond her own world and confront the uncomfortable truths it often ignores. Sean Tui, played by McGraw, offers a counterbalance. Where Lee is assertive and sharp-edged, Sean is calm, understanding, and quietly supportive. He doesn't drive the narrative, but he holds space for it. He doesn't interfere with Lee's decisions or with Michael's integration into the family. Instead, he listens, encourages, and helps Michael in more subtle ways, like explaining financial terms to him or just sitting with him during a quiet moment. McGraw's portrayal is understated, but effective. He never tries to dominate a scene. Instead, his performance reminds us that real strength often comes in silence, in the kind of steady, unwavering support that builds trust without demanding anything in return. And then there's S.J., Sean Jr., portrayed by Jay Head. He's the film's spark plug, a small character with huge impact. S.J. breaks through Michael's emotional walls with ease, mostly because he doesn't see Michael as different or intimidating. He treats him like a brother from the very beginning, and it's this open-hearted acceptance that begins to chip away at Michael's guardedness. S.J. becomes Michael's trainer, his advocate, his hype man. He's one of the first to see Michael, not just physically, but emotionally. Jay Head brings endless charm and comic timing, but beneath the humor is sincerity. S.J. represents the idea that children often see past the divisions adults are trapped by. His friendship is not transactional, it's pure. Collins Tui, played by Lily Collins, offers a more subdued, yet equally meaningful, form of connection. Initially unsure how to react to Michael's presence, she slowly begins to accept him into her life. There's a quiet moment in the school cafeteria when Collins chooses to sit with Michael instead of her friends. A simple gesture, but one that signifies something monumental. Her character arc is less dramatic than others, but no less important. She represents the internal shift of a young woman who's learning to stand up for what she believes in, even when it costs her social capital. Lily Collins plays Collins with a quiet maturity, never overstating her emotions, but always letting them show just enough to reveal her loyalty. Kathy Bates enters the story as Miss Sue, Michael's tutor, a quirky, liberal-leaning educator hired by Lee and to help Michael get his grades up to NCAA eligibility. Her role is brief, but pivotal. She not only helps Michael academically, but she challenges him to think about the world beyond football. There's humor in her scenes, but also warmth and encouragement. What's particularly interesting is the contrast between her and the Tuis. She represents another perspective, one not rooted in Southern tradition or conservative values. Bates brings a wonderfully light touch, using humor to disarm and empathy to teach. She doesn't push Michael, she meets him where he is. As the story deepens, so do the complexities. One of the most revealing character shifts comes when Michael begins to question the motivations of those around him. The NCAA investigation introduces a moment of real tension. Did the Tuis take him in because they cared, or because they wanted him to go to Ole Miss? It's a powerful scene when Michael confronts Lee asking, "Did you take me in so I'd go to Ole Miss?" The moment breaks through all the comfort and familiarity they've built. It forces Lee to confront how her actions might be perceived, And for Michael, it's the first time he truly asserts himself, not just with words, but with clarity of thought. That moment of tension isn't just about football. It's about identity, trust, and the fear of being used. The resolution of that tension is perhaps one of the most meaningful beats in the film. When Michael returns to Lee and expresses that he wants to stay with her family because he wants to, not because he's been pressured, it's a turning point. It's the moment he claims agency over his own life. And that marks the completion of his arc, from invisible and uncertain to seen and self-assured. Even smaller roles in the film are carefully chosen and memorable. Coach Cotton, played by Quinton, represents the institutional voice of sports. He sees Michael's potential early but also doubts whether he can deliver results. His initial interest in Michael is entirely athletic, but even he is moved by the young man's story, eventually advocating for him. Then there's the social worker, and the scenes from Michael's past, fragmented flashbacks to a world of poverty, police, and loss. These brief moments do a lot of heavy lifting emotionally, showing us just enough of where Michael comes from without ever veering into trauma porn. What The Blind Side does so effectively is let characters evolve through connection. Nobody in the Chewie family is painted as a one-dimensional savior. They all change because of Michael, just as he changes because of them. It's a shared transformation, not a charity project. And that's what makes their relationships believable. By the time we reach the final scenes, when Michael is preparing for college and his future, the family doesn't just feel like a support system. They feel like they've earned the right to call him son and brother, just as he's earned his place at their table. The actors breathe life into every beat. Quinton doesn't rely on dialogue. He gives you everything through body language and stillness. Sandra Bullock brings intelligence, toughness, and warmth in equal measure. McGraw steps back just enough to let others shine, while never disappearing. Jay Head's comedic energy lights up the screen. Lily Collins and Kathy Bates add texture, perspective, and strength. No role is wasted. Every character contributes, every arc connects, and every transformation feels earned. By the end of the film, the character journeys are more powerful than the sports story itself. Because The Blind Side isn't really about football, it's about family, identity, and seeing people for who they are and who they can become. And those truths land not because of grand monologues or dramatic plot twists, but because we've come to care about the characters as people, not roles. In The Blind Side, the filmmakers embedded a number of subtle details and symbolic elements that add depth to the narrative and reward sharp-eyed viewers with hidden insights. These layers are more than just Easter eggs. They're thematic echoes that weave throughout the film, adding complexity and resonance to the story. One of the most poignant and telling symbols in the film is Michael Oher's first bed. When Lee and Chewie provides Michael with a bed of his own, it's not just a simple act of kindness. For Michael, who has spent much of his life moving between foster homes and sleeping in unstable environments, this act represents a profound shift. It's not just about having a physical space to rest, but about gaining a sense of stability and personal dignity that he's never had before. The film doesn't dwell heavily on this moment, but the way it's presented, a quiet, tender exchange, shows how even small gestures of care can have massive emotional and psychological significance. It's a subtle but powerful foreshadowing of Michael's transformation, where simple acts of love and security build the foundation for his journey of self-discovery and success. Another significant element is the literary references woven into the plot, particularly through Miss Sue, Michael's tutor. Miss Sue assigns Michael readings from Great Expectations and A Tale of Two Cities, two novels that resonate deeply with the themes of personal transformation and societal change. Great Expectations tells the story of Pip, a poor boy who rises through society, while A Tale of Two Cities contrasts the lives of two men, set against the backdrop of revolution. These novels mirror Michael's journey, echoing the film's overarching message about the power of education, social mobility, and the possibility of change. The presence of these literary references is subtle but significant. They provide a deeper layer of meaning to Michael's education, suggesting that his growth isn't just about football but about his development as a person. It's a quiet nod to the classic literary archetypes of the rags to riches story, underscoring the film's focus on transformation. The role of sports in Michael's life also becomes more textured through these subtle nods. While the film's core is about Michael's journey through his adopted family, it's clear that his success in football is central to his path forward. One of the more intriguing moments that highlights the film's connection to sports culture is the appearance of real-life football coaches, such as Nick Saban, Lou Holtz, and Philip Fulmer. These cameos serve not only to ground the film in reality, but also to emphasize the genuine impact that Michael's talent has within the world of college football. These figures are not merely there to lend star power to the film. Their presence underscores Michael's potential and the serious attention he's attracting from the world of professional sports. The fact that these legendary coaches are interested in Michael's future elevates his story from a personal triumph to one with far-reaching implications. These brief but significant moments remind us that while The Blind Side is about the personal journey of one young man, his talents and choices have a much larger impact on the world around him. The closing credits of The Blind Side provide one of the most touching Easter eggs in the film. The final moments feature real photographs of the Tuohy family, interspersed with footage of Michael Oher's success on the football field. This visual addition isn't just a sentimental gesture. It connects the audience to the true story behind the film. By showcasing real-life images, the filmmakers bridge the gap between fiction and reality, offering a reminder that this story is not just a Hollywood creation but a reflection of actual events. It serves as a kind of personal acknowledgement of the Tuohy family's influence on Michael's life and shows that the impact of their relationship has lasted far beyond the final credits. This moment reinforces the film's message about the power of human connection and the enduring nature of family, love, and support. Foreshadowing is another subtle but important tool the film uses to enrich its narrative. The film's early scenes, especially those depicting Michael's isolation in the streets of Memphis and his emotional withdrawal, hint at his larger transformation later on. These moments are not overtly dramatic but provide quiet insights into Michael's inner world, preparing the audience for his eventual emotional breakthrough. His stoic demeanor and reluctance to trust others are visible clues that, despite the kindness he receives from the Tuohys, Michael will face significant internal struggles as he learns to let others into his life. This tension is gradually released through key interactions with Lee and SJ and the rest of the Tuohy family, but the seeds of his eventual growth are planted early on. The relationship between Michael and the Tuohys is also a subtle commentary on race and privilege. Throughout the film, small moments, like the discomfort some of the Tuohys' wealthy friends feel about Michael's presence, serve as quiet foreshadowing of the challenges the family will face as they help Michael. The tension between their social circles and Michael's background is never overly emphasized but subtly woven into the fabric of the story. For instance, there's a scene where Lee confronts a group of her friends about the way they look at Michael, pointing out the biases they hold without saying a word. This moment doesn't just push the narrative forward, it also highlights the microaggressions and cultural divides that exist even in well-meaning environments. By confronting these moments head-on, the film highlights the complex, often unspoken ways that race and privilege shape people's perceptions and actions, even when they don't intend to. Another hidden detail lies in the way the film uses colors to symbolize transformation and growth. Early in the film, Michael is often dressed in muted, neutral tones, grays and blues that suggest his emotional isolation and his lack of identity. However, as he begins to bond with the Tuohy family and gain confidence, his wardrobe becomes brighter. Lee in particular, is often shown wearing bold, confident colors, symbolizing her role as a driving force in Michael's life. These subtle visual cues may not immediately stand out, but they play a significant role in enhancing the theme of transformation. The shift from neutral to bold colors visually echoes the internal transformation that Michael undergoes, reinforcing the idea that his story is not just about moving from one family to another but about discovering who he is and what he is capable of. For those who are particularly observant, the film contains a few additional Easter eggs tied to real-life elements of Michael Oher's life. For example, in a brief scene, Michael is seen wearing a t-shirt with the logo of the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, which, for fans of football or Michael's life story, is a notable reference. It serves as a small, visual reminder of Michael's success, not just as a football player but as a young man who overcame so much adversity to reach a place of success and stability. Lastly, one of the most poignant, though often overlooked, Easter eggs is the recurring motif of Michael's hands. Throughout the film, His hands are shown as large, strong, and capable, an extension of his physical strength, but also his potential for greatness. The hands of Michael are shown in moments of both physicality, like during football games, and tenderness, when he's with the Chewies, suggesting that his power is not just in his ability to play football but in his capacity for connection, kindness, and loyalty. His hands symbolize the tools he uses to rebuild his life, not just the football field but his relationships, his sense of self, and his future. These hidden details, from foreshadowing moments to visual symbolism, are woven into the very fabric of The Blind Side. Each of these small touches enhances the richness of the film, offering deeper insights into the characters' journeys and the themes that drive the story. Whether you're revisiting the film or watching it for the first time, these elements encourage a closer, more thoughtful viewing experience. They remind us that while the film tells a remarkable story of one man's rise to success, it's also a deeply layered narrative about human connections, the power of kindness, and the way we see and help each other evolve. The making of The Blind Side was nothing short of extraordinary, full of behind-the-scenes stories, unexpected challenges, and trivia that would intrigue even the most devoted moviegoers. From the casting decisions to the portrayal of real-life events, the film's production process was as much of a journey as the story it told on screen. Let's dive into some fascinating facts that shaped this incredible film. When you think about The Blind Side, it's hard not to immediately recall Sandra Bullock's iconic performance as Lee and Chewie. But what many may not know is that she wasn't the first choice for the role. In fact, Bullock wasn't initially keen on the idea of taking on a role that seemed, on paper, like a straightforward drama. It was only after reading the script and recognizing the depth and complexity of Leon's character that Bullock decided to take the plunge. But even when she agreed to join the cast, she had a deep sense of responsibility, knowing that the film was based on a real-life person and story. Bullock became almost obsessed with getting the character just right. To prepare for the role, she spent time with the real Lee and Chewie and even watched footage of the real family to understand the nuances of their personalities. Bullock admitted to being nervous about playing such an iconic role, especially since Lee was known for her larger-than-life personality and her unwavering commitment to her family. It took her a little while to step into the shoes of a woman who could be both tough and tender, fierce yet compassionate. In a way, The Blind Side also became a personal mission for Bullock. At one point during filming, she called Lee to ask her what was the hardest part about the real Chewie's life and whether there was anything she should be mindful of when playing her. Lee's answer was simple: don't sugarcoat it. Tell it like it is. That piece of advice shaped the way Bullock approached the character. Rather than relying on stereotypical portrayals of the rich, white suburban mother, Bullock played Lee with a fierce authenticity that made her both a pillar of strength and a fully fleshed-out character in her own right. The preparation for The Blind Side was intense for many of the cast members, particularly Quinton, who played Michael Oher. Aaron, who had little prior experience in major film roles, was not only tasked with playing a real person but also had the difficult challenge of portraying someone who had experienced deep trauma. Aaron, who had a similar upbringing to Michael's in terms of his challenging childhood, found it difficult at times to separate his personal feelings from the role. This led to a lot of emotionally charged moments on set, where Aaron would often have to step away to process the intensity of the scenes. But what made Aaron's performance so captivating was his ability to embody the quiet strength of Michael Oher. His journey was one of learning to express emotions that he had spent years suppressing, and Aaron brought that evolution to life with remarkable authenticity. One of the biggest challenges during the production was making sure that the film's portrayal of football was accurate. The Blind Side wasn't just a sports movie, but its focus on Michael Oher's rise to fame as a football player meant that the filmmakers had to work closely with football coaches and experts to ensure every detail was correct. To get the football scenes just right, director Lee Hancock and the production team brought in NFL coaches, including those who had been part of Michael Oher's real-life journey, to help choreograph and guide the action on the field. They also had to coach the actors, including Aaron and the supporting cast, in proper football techniques. This led to several weeks of training on the field, where the cast learned not only the sport's technical aspects but also the mental toughness that comes with playing at a professional level. Quinton, for instance, had to put on a significant amount of weight to match Michael Oher's imposing frame, and he dedicated months to training for his football scenes. Despite all the physical preparation, one of the most remarkable aspects of the film's football sequences is how they subtly mirror Michael's emotional journey. As he gains confidence on the field, the audience can see his transformation off the field as well. These football moments become metaphors for Michael's growth as a person. And while the film might focus more on Michael's relationship with the Chewie family, the moments on the field are pivotal because they reflect his internal struggle and eventual empowerment. Another fascinating behind-the-scenes story revolves around the set design, which paid homage to the real homes and settings that Michael Oher experienced in his life. The filmmakers were determined to recreate the Chewie family's home as accurately as possible. The Chewie's actual house in Memphis was used as a reference for the set, with meticulous attention to detail. It wasn't just about mimicking the look of the home. It was about capturing the feeling of comfort and security that Michael would have felt when he entered the house for the first time. The house itself almost becomes a character in the film, representing the safety and stability that Lee and Sean Chewie provided Michael. It was crucial for the set designers to get it right, as the home played a pivotal role in Michael's transformation from a solitary, neglected teenager into a beloved member of a supportive family. While many elements of the film were grounded in real life, the filmmakers still had to take creative liberties to make sure the movie flowed smoothly. One example of this was the timeline of events. In reality, Michael Oher's path to success wasn't as neatly packaged as it is in the film. For instance, in the movie, Michael's transition to the Chewie family is shown happening relatively quickly, but in real life, it was a longer and more gradual process. This kind of streamlining was done to create a cohesive narrative that would appeal to a wide audience. But the essence of Michael's journey and the relationships that formed around him remained intact. Beyond the creative challenges of portraying real events, the production also faced some unexpected setbacks. One of the most notable was an injury on set. During one of the football training sessions, Quinton suffered a knee injury, which required him to take time off for recovery. The production schedule had to be adjusted to accommodate his recovery time, leading to delays in filming certain scenes. Despite this challenge, Aaron's commitment to the role was unwavering, and he pushed through his recovery with the same determination his character displayed on screen. Another behind-the-scenes challenge involved the depiction of Michael Oher's transformation, both physically and emotionally. While Quinton had the size to play Michael, he was far less athletic than the real-life football player. The filmmakers faced the challenge of portraying Michael's physical transformation as he moved from high school football to the NFL. They used clever editing techniques and body doubles to show the progression of Michael's football journey, while also relying on Aaron's emotional depth to convey the internal growth of the character. As for the cast, The Blind Side saw some unexpected behind-the-scenes moments that helped shape the film's success. Sandra Bullock, known for her comedic roles, was initially hesitant about taking on a dramatic role like Lee and Chewie, but her commitment to the film and her respect for the real Chewie family helped her find a deep connection to the character. Bullock's authenticity and warmth in the role became the backbone of the film, earning her multiple awards, including the Academy Award for Best Actress. Interestingly, Bullock admitted in interviews that she had to fight for her portrayal of Lee Ann. She wanted to ensure that the character wasn't reduced to a simple savior narrative, but instead showed the complexities of a woman who genuinely cared for a stranger and fought for his future. The film's success wasn't just about individual performances. It was about the chemistry between the entire cast. The dynamic between Quinton and Sandra Bullock, in particular, was key to bringing Michael and Lee Ann's relationship to life. On set, the two actors forged a genuine friendship, with Bullock taking on a maternal role towards Aaron, much like her character did with Michael. Their bond became a natural extension of their characters' relationship, making every scene they shared together feel genuine and emotionally charged. Finally, The Blind Side generated some controversy after its release, with discussions about the accuracy of certain aspects of the real-life story. Some critics felt that the movie painted a somewhat one-sided view of Michael Oher's experiences, focusing heavily on the role of the Chewie family in his success and downplaying the complexities of his own agency in the story. However, these critiques didn't detract from the film's overall success, and The Blind Side became a cultural touchstone for its portrayal of generosity, compassion, and human connection. In conclusion, the making of The Blind Side was a journey filled with unexpected challenges, intense preparation, and moments of genuine connection between the cast and crew. From Sandra Bullock's transformation into Lee and Chewie to Quinton Aaron's emotional and physical commitment to playing Michael Oher, every element of the film was shaped by a dedication to telling a powerful and heartfelt story. Whether it was through small behind-the-scenes moments, challenges during production, or the nuanced portrayal of the Chewie family's real-life experiences, the film remains a testament to the power of storytelling and the enduring impact of kindness and family. The Blind Side stands as a testament to the power of human connection, empathy, and transformation. The film's emotional and thematic weight is carried by pivotal moments that serve as turning points in both the character arcs and the narrative itself. These key moments are more than just plot devices. They act as windows into the emotional core of the story, shaping how the audience connects with the characters and the themes they embody. Through a close analysis of these critical moments, we can better understand how they impact the overall trajectory of the film and contribute to the deeper meanings it explores. One of the earliest and most significant moments in The Blind Side occurs when Lee and Chewie first sees Michael Oher standing outside in the cold, wearing nothing but a t-shirt and basketball shorts. This seemingly small act of kindness, where Lee offers Michael a ride to the shelter, serves as the first step in their relationship, a relationship that will grow into something far greater than either of them could have anticipated. At this moment, the film hints at themes of compassion, isolation, and a sense of belonging that will be explored throughout the narrative. The visual contrast of Michael's vulnerability against the cold, indifferent world around him immediately grabs the audience's attention, foreshadowing the warmth and security he will come to experience in the Chewie family's home. Lee Ann's gesture of offering Michael the ride isn't just a random act of kindness. It's a symbolic one that establishes her role as the catalyst for Michael's transformation. The contrast between the warmth of the car and the coldness of the streets mirrors Michael's journey from isolation to connection, and it's a moment that resonates with viewers because it represents the moment when a stranger becomes part of something bigger than themselves. This first encounter also subtly introduces Lee Ann's fierce protectiveness, which will become a defining characteristic of her personality. For Lee Ann, Michael is not just a charity case or a project. He's a human being in need of help, someone deserving of her time and care. Another critical turning point occurs when Michael is given his own room in the Chewie household. For many, this moment represents more than just physical space. It's a symbol of emotional security and belonging. Michael's previous experiences had involved living in various places, including foster homes and shelters, which meant that he never had the comfort of a permanent home. The scene, where Michael is shown lying in his bed for the first time, showcases his profound sense of relief and gratitude. His hesitant smile and quiet acceptance of this gesture speak volumes about the depth of his emotional journey. It's the first tangible manifestation of the care that he will receive from Lee Ann and the rest of the Chewie family, but more importantly, it represents the sense of safety he is beginning to build around himself. This moment also serves as a reflection of the core themes of the film. Michael's transition from a nomadic existence to a permanent home mirrors the larger themes of identity, belonging, and self-worth. It's in this room, in the safety and warmth of the Chewie home, that Michael begins to come into his own, not just as a football player but as a person who finally has a sense of stability. The bed becomes a symbol of the grounding force that Lee Ann and the Chewie family provide him, reinforcing the idea that emotional security is a foundational element in building success, both academically and personally. As Michael begins to find his place in the Chewie family, another pivotal scene unfolds when he plays his first football game under the guidance of Coach Quinton. For Michael, who had no prior experience in football, this moment is both a literal and metaphorical crossing into a new world. It's a turning point where his potential, previously hidden beneath layers of uncertainty and trauma, begins to emerge. The football field, often seen as a domain of strength and power, becomes a stage for Michael's transformation. As he takes his position on the field, he is not just learning the game, he is learning about himself. The moment when he successfully blocks an opponent, his physical strength finally coming to fruition, symbolizes the point at which Michael starts to realize that he is not just a product of his past, but someone capable of charting his own future. The emotional weight of this moment lies in its connection to Michael's journey of self-discovery. In many ways, football represents a chance for him to prove his worth, not just to others but to himself. It's not simply about winning the game. It's about the internal validation that Michael begins to feel as his raw talent is nurtured and developed. This moment underscores the theme of personal growth and the importance of having opportunities to shine, especially when one has been held back by past circumstances. For the audience, this moment feels triumphant not just because Michael performs well, but because it's a visual representation of everything he's overcome to get to this point. Another key moment that stands out in The Blind Side is when Lee confronts Michael's football coach, Coach Quinton, about his lack of attention to Michael's progress. In this scene, Lee, who has become Michael's fierce protector, steps into a new role as an advocate for his future. She challenges the coach, asking him why he isn't paying more attention to Michael's development. And it's a moment that perfectly encapsulates the theme of advocacy and support that runs through the entire film. Lee Ann's insistence on Michael's potential is not just about her desire to see him succeed on the field. It's about her belief in him as a person, something that Michael himself has only recently begun to believe. This scene not only serves as a catalyst for Michael's growth as an athlete but also shows the depth of Lee Ann's love and commitment to him. It's a moment of realization for the audience as well. While the Chewies have opened their home to Michael, it's Lee Ann's determination to fight for him that will make all the difference in his future. Lee Ann's confrontation with Coach Quinton also represents a broader theme of societal expectations and the struggle to break free from preconceived notions. Throughout the film, there's a tension between how others perceive Michael, often as a stereotype of a poor, disadvantaged African-American boy, and how he is truly capable of achieving greatness. Lee Ann's challenge to Coach Quinton is a rejection of those limiting ideas and a statement of her belief in Michael's potential, regardless of the obstacles stacked against him. For Michael, this confrontation is a pivotal moment where he is no longer just a passive recipient of others' decisions. He is someone whose future is worth fighting for, a person who is not defined by his past or the assumptions of others. One of the most emotionally impactful moments in The Blind Side occurs near the end of the film when Michael receives a scholarship offer from the University of Mississippi. This moment, while a clear triumph for Michael, is also a moment of bittersweet realization for Lee and the Chewie family. Michael, who has come to see the Chewies as his family, is now about to step into a new phase of his life, one where he will have to navigate the world on his own terms. This moment captures the complexity of parental love, where pride and joy are tempered by the sadness of letting go. The Chewies' emotional response to Michael's success reflects a universal truth about the role of family in shaping our identities. As much as the Chewies have helped Michael find his way, the moment also marks the beginning of Michael's independence. The scene is a culmination of the themes that have been building throughout the film: the power of love, the importance of belief in oneself, and the impact of finding a supportive community. For Michael, the scholarship offer is not just a ticket to college, it's a validation of his worth, his ability, and his future. For the Chewies, it's a moment of pride, knowing that they have played a significant role in shaping Michael's path to success. The audience, too, feels the weight of this moment, understanding that it represents the culmination of a journey that has been fraught with challenges, but ultimately marked by growth, connection, and the strength of human relationships. In The Blind Side, each of these pivotal moments contributes not only to the plot but to the emotional and thematic resonance of the film. From the simple act of offering Michael a ride to the emotional complexity of his scholarship offer, these scenes work together to create a powerful narrative about transformation, family, and the importance of believing in people who may have been overlooked or underestimated. These moments don't just move the story forward, they deepen our understanding of the characters, their relationships, and the broader themes the film explores. By the time the credits roll, we are left with a sense of hope and fulfillment, knowing that Michael, like so many others, was able to overcome adversity with the right support, determination, and belief in his potential. The Blind Side is a film that captivated audiences with its heartwarming story, memorable performances, and powerful themes of transformation, family, and opportunity. However, behind the emotional pull of the narrative lies a team of skilled filmmakers and a host of creative and technical choices that helped elevate the movie to iconic status. From the careful selection of locations to the groundbreaking choices in cinematography, sound design, and acting, the production of The Blind Side was a labor of love that involved an enormous amount of collaboration and attention to detail. As we dive into the behind-the-scenes insights and technical feats that shaped the final form of the film, we'll see how each element worked together to create the powerful impact the movie had on audiences. The film's success began long before the cameras started rolling, as the project required a deep understanding of its subject matter. The filmmakers made an intentional choice to capture the authenticity of the real-life events and the emotional journey of Michael Oher, Lee and Tui, and their family. One of the first and most significant decisions was the casting of Sandra Bullock as Lee and Tui. Bullock, known for her comedic roles, was seen by many as an unconventional choice for a role in a drama. However, her decision to take on the role wasn't just an impulse. After reading the script, Bullock found herself deeply moved by the story, particularly the character of Lee Ann. Bullock's commitment to playing the role truthfully led her to spend extensive time with the real Lee and Tui, immersing herself in the family's world. This was an essential move, as it allowed Bullock to avoid relying on stereotypes or creating a simplified version of the character. Instead, she portrayed Lee Ann with the complexity and depth that made her a multidimensional character, and ultimately earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress. Bullock's preparation was key in portraying a real person with authenticity, but the filmmaking team's attention to detail extended far beyond the performances. For example, the film's setting played a pivotal role in conveying the true essence of the story. The Tui family's home was recreated meticulously on set, ensuring that the warmth and familiarity of their living space matched the Real house in Memphis as closely as possible. The production team had access to the Tui's actual home, using it as a visual reference, but also working closely with set designers to bring the feel of the home to life. This wasn't just about replicating the structure. It was about capturing the emotional weight of the home, which served as a place of safety and love for Michael. The home became symbolic of the transformation Michael underwent once he entered their world, and the set design had to reflect that. Filming The Blind Side also posed logistical challenges. The football scenes, which are critical to the plot, had to be both realistic and emotionally resonant. With many of the key moments on the football field requiring significant choreography, the filmmakers knew they needed the expertise of coaches to guide the action. NFL coach and consultant, Tom Luganbill, was brought on to help with the technical aspects of the game. He worked with the actors to ensure that their football movements, blocking techniques, and overall on-field behavior were as authentic as possible. Notably, Quinton, who played Michael Oher, had no prior football experience and had to undergo an extensive training regimen to prepare for his role. Despite his size, Aaron was not accustomed to the physicality of the sport, and he had to learn everything from blocking to running drills. His journey to becoming physically prepared for the role added another layer of authenticity to his performance. The actual football scenes also provided the filmmakers with an opportunity to use groundbreaking cinematography to elevate the sports sequences. Director Lee Hancock worked closely with cinematographer Oher to design shots that would immerse the audience in the intensity of the football action. Instead of using traditional wide shots to capture the game, Kivalo and Hancock focused on close-ups, tight angles, and unique perspectives that allowed the viewer to feel the pressure, the adrenaline, and the impact of each moment. The use of slow-motion shots during pivotal plays, particularly Michael's game-changing blocks, helped highlight the importance of these moments in the character's development. By creating a dynamic, visceral experience, the film made sure that the football action was not only visually exciting but emotionally charged as well. The decision to use these cinematic techniques was grounded in the idea that the football scenes were more than just a backdrop for Michael's story. They were essential to his personal growth. Michael's journey to becoming a football player was, in many ways, a metaphor for his growth as an individual and a member of the Tui family. As a result, the filmmakers made sure that the shots on the field weren't just about the game. They were about the internal transformations happening within Michael. The editing, combined with the cinematography, amplified the emotional intensity of these scenes, making them memorable and impactful for the audience. Beyond the physical transformation of the actors and the visual spectacle of the sports scenes, The Blind Side also relied on the power of sound design and music to further immerse the audience in the world of the film. The score, composed by the talented Carter Burwell, played a critical role in setting the tone of the film. Burwell's score combined subtle orchestral arrangements with more intimate and emotional pieces that perfectly captured the ebb and flow of the narrative. For example, during the scenes in which Michael first steps onto the football field or when he's learning to navigate life within the Tui family, the music swells to underscore the sense of possibility and growth. The score subtly builds a connection between the audience and Michael's journey, amplifying the emotional highs and adding depth to the quieter, more reflective moments. Music also played an important role in highlighting the cultural context of the film. The soundtrack includes a number of classic rock and contemporary hits that help convey the atmosphere of the different settings and emotional states of the characters. For instance, the inclusion of songs like Sweet Home Alabama by LYNYRD serves as a nod to the film's southern roots and the Chewie family's connection to their local culture. At the same time, the music provided a bridge between Michael's urban background and his new life in a suburban home. By carefully selecting these songs, the filmmakers helped create a soundtrack that resonated with audiences on multiple levels. In addition to the traditional filmmaking elements, The Blind Side also made use of some more subtle yet groundbreaking technical choices that added layers to the story. For instance, the film used visual metaphors to express Michael's internal conflicts and growth. In one particularly striking moment, when Michael enters his room for the first time, the camera lingers on the door handle and the lock. The emphasis on this small, everyday detail is a visual representation of Michael's sense of security and the importance of having ownership over his life. As he closes the door behind him, he enters a space that symbolizes both protection and autonomy. These quiet visual moments added richness to the film and reinforced the larger themes of identity and transformation. Another technical feat worth mentioning is the use of color grading and lighting to highlight the emotional contrasts in the film. The Chewie family's home is often depicted with warm, golden tones, symbolizing the comfort and stability that they offer to Michael. In contrast, scenes depicting Michael's life before he found the Chewies are often drenched in colder, muted tones that emphasize the lack of warmth in his environment. This deliberate use of lighting helps visually reinforce the theme of personal growth, where Michael's transition from isolation to inclusion is not just a narrative shift but also a visual one. The light in the Chewie household feels welcoming and warm, and this is contrasted with the harsh, colder lighting used in scenes that depict Michael's earlier struggles. While the technical achievements in the film are certainly impressive, perhaps one of the most unexpected and vital elements was the film's tone. From the very beginning, The Blind Side strikes a balance between drama and uplifting storytelling, never veering too far into melodrama or overly sentimental territory. A key factor in achieving this balance was the direction of Lee Hancock. Hancock's approach was to keep the story grounded in its emotional truth while avoiding the temptation to overemphasize the emotional beats. This restrained, naturalistic style allowed the moments of triumph to land with greater impact. Hancock knew when to let a scene breathe, allowing the performances to shine, and when to cut to an impactful moment, giving the audience a chance to fully feel the significance of the characters' emotional journeys. Ultimately, the technical and creative choices that went into the making of The Blind Side were integral to the film's success. From the set design to the cinematography, sound design, and editing, each element played a key role in bringing the story to life. The collaborative effort between the cast and crew was evident in the seamless way the film balanced emotional moments with athletic action. The Blind Side is not just a film about football, or even about Michael Oher's journey. It is a story about human connection, resilience, and the transformative power of love and opportunity. The technical feats and behind-the-scenes insights that shaped the film were critical to its success, but it was the heart and soul of the film, brought to life through the collaborative work of an incredibly talented team, that made it an unforgettable cinematic experience. The Blind Side is more than just a heartwarming sports drama. It is a layered exploration of social issues, cultural identity, and the transformative power of human connection. As viewers follow Michael Oher's journey from an impoverished background to success, the film deftly weaves together themes of race, class, family, and opportunity, offering a reflection on larger societal struggles while also exploring the individual growth of its characters. In this discussion, we will unpack the deeper meanings behind the film's key themes, decode the symbols woven throughout the narrative, and examine how the movie engages with pressing social issues, making it far more than just an inspiring underdog story. Themes of family and belonging. One of the central themes of The Blind Side is the concept of family, not just in the traditional sense, but as a broader notion of belonging and connection. At its core, the film is about how the Chewie family takes Michael Oher into their home, not out of pity or obligation but because they see him as someone deserving of care, love, and opportunity. Michael's journey from homelessness and isolation to finding a sense of belonging is mirrored by his emotional transformation. For Michael, family is not simply about blood relations. It is about a group of people who support, protect, and nurture him. This theme of belonging is closely tied to Michael's personal growth. His physical transformation on the football field is symbolic of his emotional growth as a person who is now part of something larger than himself. The Chewy family provides him with the stability, love, and emotional security he lacked throughout his youth, and as Michael finds his place in their home, he learns to understand that family is not defined by where you come from, but by the people who choose to stand by you. The film contrasts Michael's earlier life with the Chewy's more privileged world, and through this juxtaposition, it explores the idea of family in relation to social and economic status. Michael's life in the foster system, where he moved from one place to another, is depicted as one of constant instability, whereas the Chewy's family unit offers Michael the kind of security he has never known. This highlights the disparity in access to stable family environments, with many children in the foster care system, particularly those from underprivileged backgrounds, facing emotional neglect or abandonment. The film gently critiques this system, suggesting that a child's potential is often stunted by a lack of proper support, and that the human connection that family provides is essential for personal development. Themes of class and opportunity. Another central theme in The Blind Side is the profound impact of class and opportunity on a person's future. Michael's story is one of striking contrasts, from living in a neighborhood rife with poverty and violence to being offered the opportunity to attend a prestigious university on a sports scholarship. Through Michael's journey, the film explores how class systems, often tied to race, can limit or expand a person's horizons. Michael's natural athletic ability, which is initially overlooked because of his background, is eventually recognized when the Chewies take him under their wing. The film shows that talent and intelligence are not limited to those from wealthy or privileged backgrounds, but are often hidden by societal structures that fail to nurture individuals from disadvantaged communities. The Chewy family's wealth provides Michael with the opportunity to pursue his dreams and make a future for himself. However, the film also critiques this reality, pointing out that not everyone has the same access to opportunities. Michael's success is not only a testament to his talent and hard work but also to the rare chance he was given by the Chewy family. In this way, the film raises important questions about the role that luck, privilege, and economic inequality play in shaping a person's life. While the Chewy's generosity is portrayed in a positive light, the film implicitly asks whether Michael's story would have played out the same way had he not encountered this wealthy, well-meaning family. It highlights the significant role that circumstances, and not just individual effort, play in the creation of success stories. Furthermore, the film also explores the broader societal issues tied to class. It brings attention to the systemic inequalities faced by underprivileged communities, particularly African American communities, and how societal systems are often stacked against them. Michael's struggle to overcome not only his own personal barriers but also the structural limitations of his environment serves as a commentary on the challenges that many disadvantaged individuals face in real life. By highlighting Michael's potential, The Blind Side encourages viewers to consider how opportunity, or the lack thereof, can alter the course of someone's life. Themes of race and stereotyping. Racial identity and the stereotypes tied to it form another critical layer in The Blind Side. Michael Oher's story is not just one of overcoming poverty and adversity, but also one of navigating the complex terrain of race in America. Throughout the film, Michael is repeatedly confronted by the prejudices and assumptions that people make about him based on his race and socio-economic status. Early on, Michael is assumed to be unintelligent or incapable because of where he comes from, and it is only through the Chewy's support and encouragement that he is able to break free from these stereotypes. The film also subtly critiques the notion of the white savior narrative. While Lee and Chewy is undoubtedly a pivotal figure in Michael's life, the film occasionally veers into a territory where the Chewy's intervention is framed as a form of heroism, despite the fact that Michael's success is rooted in his own abilities and determination. This tension between the film's portrayal of Leon's role and Michael's own agency is a point of discussion among critics. While Leon's love and support are essential, the film emphasizes Michael's growth as a person, his ability to make choices, and his own personal triumphs. The film ultimately suggests that systemic changes are necessary, as individuals like Michael should not need saviors to break free from the social constraints imposed upon them by the world around them. The portrayal of race is particularly relevant in the context of Michael's experiences on the football field. Football, as depicted in The Blind Side, is both a metaphor for overcoming adversity and a sport steeped in racial dynamics. While football is portrayed as an arena where Michael can excel regardless of his background, the film also acknowledges the racial divide in sports and the challenges faced by African American athletes, particularly those from impoverished backgrounds. The film subtly comments on how, despite the potential for upward mobility through sports, these athletes often face challenges in being seen as more than just their physicality, with society quick to reduce them to stereotypes. Symbolism of transformation and redemption. One of the most powerful symbols in The Blind Side is the notion of transformation. Michael's journey from a young man living in the streets to a successful football player is not just a physical transformation but an emotional and psychological one as well. The recurring visual motif of Michael changing from one environment to another, the gritty, dangerous streets to the safe, comfortable home of the Chewies, is a direct representation of his growth. This transition is symbolic of his journey from a past defined by neglect and instability to a future filled with possibility and hope. The symbolism of Michael's bedroom is another important representation of his transformation. When he first enters the Chewie home, his bedroom is a space of personal reflection and growth. The bedroom, which is both a private and safe space for Michael, becomes a symbol of his emerging sense of self-worth. This transition from an empty room in a foster care facility to his own space in a home filled with love signals a shift in Michael's understanding of himself and his place in the world. The bed, the walls, and even the door in his room serve as metaphors for the internal and external barriers Michael has overcome on his journey to success. Equally symbolic is the moment when Michael begins to understand the concept of being more than just a football player. Initially, football seems to be his ticket to a better life, but as the film progresses, Michael begins to realize that his journey is about more than winning games. It's about claiming his own identity. Football becomes a metaphor for the internal strength Michael finds within himself. It is not just a means of escape, but a tool for personal growth. This is reflected in the subtle symbolic elements, such as Michael's first successful block on the field, which mirrors his emotional blockages that are slowly being overcome. Social commentary on the foster care system. Another crucial aspect of The Blind Side's social commentary lies in its portrayal of the foster care system. Michael's early life, which involved a series of foster homes, is depicted as one of neglect and instability. This portrayal raises questions about the effectiveness of the foster care system in supporting vulnerable children and provides a critique of the institutions meant to care for them. Michael's lack of a permanent home, the instability of his living situation, and the emotional neglect he faced are representative of the broader failures of the system, which often leaves children in limbo, without the emotional or psychological support they need to thrive. The film doesn't shy away from this issue, highlighting the fact that children in the foster care system often fall through the cracks. For many, like Michael, the opportunity to escape this cycle of instability comes from an outside source, a person or family willing to take a chance on them. This commentary raises important questions about societal responsibility and the need for systemic changes to ensure that children in need of care receive it in a meaningful way. The Chewie family's willingness to provide Michael with not just a home but emotional support contrasts sharply with the impersonal nature of the foster system and underscores the importance of human connection in healing and growth. The Blind Side stands as a rich narrative that uses its themes, symbols, and social commentary to explore the complexities of race, class, family, and opportunity in America. Through Michael's story, the film encourages reflection on how systems of inequality affect individuals and communities, while also celebrating the transformative power of love, compassion, and personal effort. The symbolism of transformation, belonging, and opportunity gives the film its emotional depth, while its critique of the foster care system and the role of race in shaping one's opportunities gives it relevance far beyond entertainment. The Blind Side is a poignant reminder of the ways in which human connection can break through societal barriers and pave the way for individuals to rise above their circumstances and create their own futures. The Blind Side stands out not only for its heartfelt story and powerful performances but also for its remarkable use of cinematic techniques and visual language that enhance the narrative and emotional impact of the film. Every frame, camera angle, lighting choice, and sound cue was meticulously crafted to draw the audience into the story and intensify the themes of transformation, family, and opportunity. From the opening moments to the final, uplifting scenes, the visual storytelling creates an immersive experience that amplifies the emotional highs and lows of Michael Oher's journey. The cinematography in The Blind Side plays a vital role in immersing the audience into the world of the characters. Directed by Lee Hancock, the film uses camera work to highlight key moments of character development and emotional transformation. The film's cinematographer, Oher brings a naturalistic approach to the visual style that helps ground the story in reality, making the emotional moments feel raw and authentic. One of the primary ways this is achieved is through the use of close-up shots, which often place the viewer in close proximity to the characters' emotional worlds. For instance, throughout the movie, the camera lingers on Michael's face, capturing subtle shifts in his expressions, which convey the complexity of his internal struggle. In the early scenes, Michael is quiet, distant, and unsure of his place in the world. The close-ups of his face convey his sense of isolation, underscoring his emotional distance from the Chewie family and the life they represent. As Michael's character evolves, growing more confident, secure, and expressive, the framing subtly mirrors these changes. The intimacy of the close-up shots, particularly in moments of personal breakthrough, allows the audience to connect deeply with Michael's transformation. This use of framing and focus contrasts with the wide, sweeping shots that depict Michael's environment, especially in scenes where he is alone or isolated. Early in the film, when Michael is walking through the streets of his old neighborhood, the wide shots emphasize the vastness of the world he inhabits, emphasizing his loneliness and the intimidating scale of the world outside the comfort of the Chewie home. This sense of isolation is visually reinforced by the juxtaposition of tight, personal moments in the Chewie family home, where the environment becomes more nurturing and personal. The camera moves between these contrasting spaces, highlighting the stark difference in Michael's life and signaling the importance of his physical and emotional transformation. In contrast to the lingering, intimate shots that focus on character development, the film also utilizes dynamic, energetic shots during pivotal moments, especially on the football field. Here, the camera zooms and tracks Michael as he makes crucial plays, heightening the intensity and rhythm of the action. The use of handheld camera movements creates a sense of immediacy, making the audience feel as though they are right in the midst of the action, watching Michael's physical prowess and growing confidence unfold in real time. This technique not only enhances the high-stakes moments on the field but also visually conveys Michael's increasing control over his life, showing how his emotional growth mirrors his physical dominance. The color palette of The Blind Side also plays a significant role in shaping its visual storytelling. The warm, inviting tones of the Chewie family home, with its rich browns, soft oranges, and natural light, create a sense of comfort and stability. These colors reinforce the themes of safety, love, and opportunity that the family provides for Michael. In contrast, the darker, cooler tones of Michael's past, his time in the streets, his time in foster care, reflect the harshness and uncertainty of his earlier life. As Michael transitions from these environments into the more nurturing world of the Chewies, the visual warmth becomes more pronounced, symbolizing his emotional shift and the growth of his sense of self-worth. One of the most powerful uses of lighting in The Blind Side is during moments of personal revelation or emotional breakthroughs. The lighting is often soft and natural, bathing the characters in a warm glow, emphasizing their emotional openness and vulnerability. For example, when Michael begins to open up to the Chewies, the soft lighting in their home highlights the intimacy of the moment. This creates a visual connection between the characters' emotional growth and the warm, welcoming environment that nurtures them. The visual warmth contrasts with the colder, harsher environments that Michael once inhabited, symbolizing the hope and new opportunities that now define his life. The sound design in The Blind Side is equally important in reinforcing the emotional tone of the film. The film uses a combination of ambient sound and music to emphasize the narrative's key emotional moments. The music, composed by Carter Burwell, is subtle yet powerful, often swelling during pivotal scenes to draw the audience deeper into the emotional undercurrents of the story. The soundtrack is carefully chosen to underscore the themes of resilience, family, and hope. For example, when Michael first enters the Chewie home, the music is uplifting, reflecting the optimism of the new chapter in his life. Similarly, the music during the football scenes increases in intensity, mirroring Michael's growing confidence on the field. The sound design also plays a crucial role in creating a sense of immediacy, especially during the football sequences. The sounds of the game, the roar of the crowd, the impact of players colliding, the rapid pace of the action, are heightened to immerse the audience in the excitement of the sport. These auditory cues, combined with the visual intensity of the scenes, amplify the emotional stakes of the game and highlight Michael's physical and personal growth. The editing in The Blind Side also contributes to its emotional and narrative pacing. The film moves fluidly between quieter, character-driven moments and the faster-paced action on the football field, ensuring that the emotional weight of the story never lags behind the action. The transitions between these moments are seamless, often accompanied by visual or auditory cues that signal a shift in tone. The editing enhances the sense of momentum in Michael's journey, providing a rhythmic flow that mirrors the progress of his transformation. The film doesn't linger too long in any one scene, allowing for a dynamic pacing that keeps the audience engaged while also giving space for emotional resonance. In particular, the way the film edits between Michael's early moments of uncertainty and the more confident, decisive actions he takes later in the film shows the stark contrast between the different stages of his personal growth. In scenes where Michael first plays football, the quick cuts between his tentative moves and the more confident strides later in the film visually signify his development, not just as a player, but as a person. These moments of contrast are visually amplified by the use of close-up shots of Michael's face, showing the emotional struggle he faces when he is unsure of his ability, followed by a calm determination as he grows into his role. The director's overall vision for the film is reinforced through these stylistic choices, with every aspect of the filmmaking working together to amplify the story's themes. Lee Hancock's decision to keep the visual style grounded in realism ensures that the audience remains connected to the emotional journey of the characters. The use of naturalistic lighting, combined with dynamic and intimate camera work, creates a sense of intimacy between the viewer and the characters, making their triumphs and struggles feel deeply personal. This approach allows the film to resonate on an emotional level, drawing the viewer into the story's core themes of family, belonging, and the power of opportunity. The stylistic choices in The Blind Side also work to support the narrative's exploration of class and race. The contrasting visuals between Michael's life before and after meeting the Chewies emphasize the difference in opportunity and living conditions that stem from race and socio-economic status. The film's visual language does not simply depict these contrasts but invites the audience to reflect on how these disparities affect the characters on a deeper, emotional level. The choice to use realistic, understated visual techniques reinforces the film's message that Michael's journey is not about dramatic, external transformations but about the internal changes that come from being loved, supported, and given the opportunity to succeed. In the end, The Blind Side is a film that thrives not just on its performances or its narrative but on its cinematic execution. The carefully crafted cinematography, lighting, sound design, and editing all serve to enhance the emotional depth of the story. The visual storytelling is not merely decorative but an integral part of how the film conveys its themes and engages the audience. The film's cinematic techniques elevate the narrative, ensuring that the story of Michael Oher's transformation remains not only a captivating journey but also an unforgettable cinematic experience. The success of The Blind Side cannot be attributed solely to its gripping storyline or emotional resonance. A significant part of its lasting impact lies in the powerful performances delivered by the cast and the undeniable chemistry between them. The dynamic between Sandra Bullock, Quinton, and the rest of the ensemble cast played a pivotal role in making the film feel authentic and emotionally engaging. From the moments of tension to the heartwarming exchanges, the actors brought the story to life in a way that captured the essence of Michael Oher's journey, both on and off the football field. At the heart of the film's emotional impact is the relationship between Lee and Chewie, portrayed by Sandra Bullock, and Michael Oher, played by Quinton. Bullock's portrayal of Lee is one of fierce protectiveness, determination, and warmth, while Aaron's Michael is the embodiment of vulnerability, strength, and quiet resilience. Their interactions are at the core of the film's emotional power, and the chemistry between them feels natural and deeply rooted in the development of their characters. Sandra Bullock's commitment to bringing Lee and to life shines through in the way she interacts with Quinton Aaron. Bullock, known for her versatility in both comedic and dramatic roles, infused Lee Ann with an energy that felt both real and relatable. During the film, her character's no-nonsense attitude, combined with her tenderness, reflects a woman willing to break societal norms in order to create a better life for Michael. On set, Bullock often spoke about how much she admired the way Aaron embodied Michael's character. In interviews, she mentioned that Aaron's natural humility and kindness off-screen made him an ideal person to portray the character of Michael, whose life had been shaped by hardship but also by a quiet strength. Quinton Aaron, who was relatively unknown before his role in The Blind Side, brought a raw sincerity to Michael's character. Aaron's physical presence, a towering 6'8", was important in representing Michael's imposing figure, but it was his performance that truly resonated with audiences. Throughout filming, Aaron shared that he drew upon his own experiences of feeling like an outsider, which allowed him to authentically portray Michael's journey of self-discovery and the emotional growth that came from being accepted into the Chewie family. The connection between Bullock and Aaron was not just professional. It was one built on mutual respect and understanding. Bullock's nurturing attitude on set helped Aaron feel supported, enabling him to give a performance that matched her intensity and energy. The chemistry between Bullock and Aaron created moments of genuine emotional depth in the film. Their scenes together, such as when Lee Ann fiercely defends Michael at school or when she encourages him to trust in his abilities, reflect the growing bond between them. This dynamic anchors the entire film, creating a sense of authenticity in their relationship that audiences could relate to. Even in moments when the two characters are at odds, the actors' understanding of their roles kept their interactions grounded and emotionally honest. This authenticity was crucial in ensuring that the narrative never veered into melodrama, allowing it to maintain a believable and heartfelt portrayal of family dynamics. Beyond the central relationship between Lee Ann and Michael, the rest of the cast contributed to the film's rich tapestry of performances. Tim McGraw, who portrayed Sean Chewie, added a layer of calm strength to the story. His character, a successful businessman with a heart of gold, was a supportive presence throughout Michael's journey, and McGraw's natural ease in the role allowed the character to remain grounded. McGraw's chemistry with Sandra Bullock, particularly in scenes where the two share tender, quiet moments, complemented her portrayal of Lee Ann. Their interactions, marked by humor and understated affection, helped to flesh out the Chewie family's dynamic, making their support for Michael feel authentic and heartwarming. The two Chewie children, portrayed by Lily Collins and Jay Head, also brought important moments of levity and vulnerability to the story. Collins, playing Collins Chewie, added a spunky energy that balanced the more serious moments of the narrative. She often plays the role of an innocent but insightful observer of the events around her, bringing humor and lightness to the sometimes heavy emotional beats. Meanwhile, Jay Head's portrayal of the younger Chewie child, SJ, provides a humorous and heartfelt foil to the family's more serious dynamics. His scenes with Michael, particularly as he forms a bond with the larger-than-life football player, were pivotal in underscoring the theme of acceptance and love that runs through the film. Behind the scenes, the cast formed a bond that was just as deep and meaningful as the one portrayed on screen. Sandra Bullock, in particular, spoke fondly of her experiences working with Quinton Aaron, often mentioning in interviews how he made her laugh and how their off-screen relationship mirrored the on-screen familial dynamic. Aaron, on his part, has shared stories of how Bullock's guidance helped him adjust to the film's intense emotional scenes, with the actress offering words of encouragement during difficult moments. These interactions led to an on-set environment of camaraderie and mutual respect, which translated into their performances. It wasn't just the main cast that contributed to the film's success. Director Lee Hancock also played an integral role in guiding the performances. Hancock's approach to direction involved fostering a sense of trust between the cast, which allowed them to explore their characters more deeply. Hancock would often encourage the actors to improvise in key moments, which led to more spontaneous and heartfelt performances. This approach was particularly effective in scenes between Bullock and Aaron, where the emotional stakes were high, and the chemistry needed to feel immediate and sincere. The authenticity of the relationships on screen was largely the result of Hancock's ability to create a relaxed atmosphere on set, allowing the actors to fully inhabit their roles without feeling constrained by the script. The film's success upon its release in 2009 was a testament to the chemistry and dedication of the cast. Audiences responded positively to the authentic emotional beats and the genuine relationships portrayed on screen. The performances, particularly Sandra Bullock's portrayal of Lee and Tui, garnered widespread acclaim, with many noting the heart and humanity she brought to the character. Bullock's performance was widely praised for its balance of toughness and warmth, and she received numerous accolades, including an Academy Award for Best Actress. The chemistry between Bullock and Aaron was also lauded, with critics pointing to the authenticity of their on-screen relationship as a key factor in the film's success. The film's themes of family, redemption, and the power of opportunity resonated deeply with audiences, especially in a time when stories of personal triumph against adversity were particularly impactful. The film struck a chord not only because of its emotional depth but also because it was a story of a family who chose to break the mold and give someone an opportunity to succeed, an opportunity that many others might not have had. This idea of selflessness, love, and second chances connected with viewers on a personal level, and the film became a cultural touchstone for discussions around race, privilege, and the potential for change. Over time, The Blind Side became more than just a box office success. It grew into a beloved film that continued to inspire audiences long after its release. The film sparked discussions about the importance of foster care, education, and the role of family in shaping one's future. Audiences, both in theaters and at home, embraced the film's message, and it remained a favorite for those looking for stories of hope and inspiration. Michael Oher's real-life story became widely known after the film's success, bringing further attention to issues related to youth in the foster care system and the transformative power of a supportive family. The impact of the film was also reflected in its ongoing popularity in the cultural zeitgeist. It became a touchstone for discussions of social justice, with its themes of racial and socio-economic barriers resonating in conversations about equality and opportunity. The cast's performances, particularly Sandra Bullock's portrayal of a fierce, protective mother figure, remained etched in the minds of viewers, further solidifying the movie's legacy. In retrospect, the success of The Blind Side was a combination of strong, heartfelt performances, the natural chemistry between the actors, and the genuine emotional depth of the film. On set, the camaraderie among the cast and crew translated into the on-screen relationships that captivated audiences, making the film not just a box office hit but a cultural moment that continues to be celebrated. As viewers reflect on the film years after its release, it remains an enduring story of family, opportunity, and the power of love to change lives. The Blind Side's legacy is far-reaching, not only because of its emotional depth and heartwarming story but also due to its significant cultural impact and the way it altered both the sports drama genre and cinematic storytelling at large. Upon its release, the film quickly became a box office success and was hailed as one of the most memorable and inspiring movies of its time. The narrative of a young man overcoming adversity, with the support of an unconventional family, struck a chord with viewers and critics alike. But it's the film's continued relevance and its lasting effects on audiences and pop culture that truly solidified its place in cinematic history. From the very beginning, The Blind Side was more than just a sports drama. It transcended the boundaries of the genre, adding layers of social commentary, familial bonds, and issues of race and privilege. While sports movies often focus solely on the physical aspect of athletic achievement, The Blind Side grounded its story in the emotional growth and development of its central character, Michael Oher. This emphasis on the personal rather than just the professional made it stand out from other films that explored sports, and it reshaped how stories about athletes could be told. The film also broadened the scope of the genre, showing that sports movies could blend seamlessly with narratives about social change, personal transformation, and family. By weaving together the emotional arc of Michael's journey with a broader commentary on opportunity, race, and socio-economic class, The Blind Side opened up the door for a new kind of sports film that focused not just on victory but on the internal struggles and external barriers that athletes face. The film's impact wasn't confined to just the sports genre. It also played a significant role in shaping how the public viewed both professional athletes and the importance of family and support systems in fostering success. Before The Blind Side, stories about athletes, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, often highlighted the individual's rise to success, focusing solely on their talent or hard work. The Blind Side, however, presented the idea that an athlete's journey to success was just as dependent on the support and love they received off the field as it was on their abilities on it. The Tuohy family, particularly Lee and Tuohy, became symbolic of the idea that external support, whether familial, educational, or financial, could be as transformative as an athlete's physical prowess. This idea shifted the narrative of self-made success to include the concept of community, showing audiences that success is often a collective effort, built on the shoulders of those who believe in you and guide you along the way. The film's lasting impact extends beyond its thematic richness. It also became a cultural touchstone, especially in the conversation around race, privilege, and class in America. While The Blind Side portrays a heartwarming story of a wealthy, white family taking in a poor, black teenager, it also raised complex questions about race and the structures that perpetuate inequality. Some critics pointed out that the movie simplified complex social dynamics, particularly the relationship between race and privilege, into a story about an individual's good fortune and the benevolence of a white family. Yet, this critique didn't overshadow the film's overall positive message about human connection, compassion, and the power of opportunity. It sparked important conversations about race and class, particularly in the context of sports, where racial and economic disparities are often magnified. For many viewers, The Blind Side was a catalyst for re-evaluating the importance of equal opportunities, as well as the need for systemic changes that allow marginalized individuals to succeed. The film also contributed to the broader discourse surrounding the foster care system. Michael Oher's story, both in the film and in real life, shone a spotlight on the challenges faced by children in foster care, particularly those who come from underprivileged backgrounds. While the film's portrayal of Michael's adoption was romanticized for dramatic effect, it still underscored the importance of family, whether biological or chosen, and the role it plays in shaping an individual's future. This message resonated with many viewers, sparking conversations about the need for greater support for foster children, especially those who lack the resources or guidance to succeed academically or socially. By bringing the complexities of the foster care system into the mainstream conversation, The Blind Side played a role in advocating for social change, encouraging audiences to think critically about how society treats its most vulnerable members. Critically, the film's success was undeniable. Upon its release in 2009, The Blind Side was met with widespread praise for its performances, particularly Sandra Bullock's portrayal of Lee and Tuohy. Bullock's performance garnered her numerous awards and accolades, including the Academy Award for Best Actress. This achievement was particularly notable because it marked a major milestone in her career, affirming her range as an actress capable of handling both comedic and dramatic roles. The film's success also signaled a shift in how audiences viewed sports dramas. Instead of solely focusing on the game itself, The Blind Side put the spotlight on the off-the-field journey of the athlete and the people who help shape their path. The film's heartfelt storytelling, combined with its social relevance, helped cement its place as a major contender for some of Hollywood's most prestigious awards. In addition to the Oscar for Best Actress, The Blind Side was nominated for several other major awards, including Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. These nominations helped elevate the film's profile within the entertainment industry, proving that movies with heartfelt, socially conscious narratives could compete with big-budget blockbusters at the highest levels. The Blind Side's success at the Academy Awards was also a moment of recognition for the genre of inspirational sports dramas, showing that films that offered more than just action and competition could resonate deeply with both critics and general audiences. The film went on to gross over $300 million at the box office, making it one of the most successful films of 2009. Beyond the accolades, the film's influence can be seen in its lasting popularity in the years following its release. The Blind Side became a go-to film for many who were looking for an uplifting story about overcoming adversity. It found a second life in home video sales, cable television airings, and streaming services, continuing to attract new audiences long after its initial release. For many, it became a staple of feel-good cinema, one of those rare films that could inspire viewers regardless of their background or life experience. Whether it was a family watching the film together or a sports enthusiast reflecting on the challenges athletes face off the field, The Blind Side spoke to a universal human experience of growth, support, and triumph. The movie also enjoyed a long-lasting impact on the way the media portrayed the real-life Michael Oher. Following the release of the film, Oher's story became a widely known narrative in both sports and popular culture. His rise from poverty to NFL stardom was no longer just a headline story. It became an emblem of hope for countless individuals facing their own personal struggles. While Oher's career had been marked by challenges, the film painted a portrait of perseverance and success that resonated beyond the world of football. His story inspired people not just to follow their dreams but to believe in the possibility of personal transformation, no matter how insurmountable the obstacles may seem. The Blind Side also reshaped how movies with social issues were perceived by mainstream audiences. While Hollywood had certainly addressed topics such as race and class in the past, the film's wide appeal, especially among general audiences, demonstrated that socially conscious films could be both commercially successful and critically appreciated. This realization prompted a wider recognition of films that balance storytelling with social relevance, encouraging filmmakers to explore complex issues in ways that resonated emotionally with viewers. The film's cultural impact didn't just stop with its commercial success and critical acclaim. It also contributed to larger conversations about privilege and opportunity in the United States. By depicting the Tuohy family as the catalyst for Michael Oher's success, the film sparked conversations about the role of privilege in shaping an individual's future. This conversation about privilege expanded beyond the realm of sports, influencing discussions about education, wealth, race, and inequality in broader society. The film's depiction of a white, affluent family taking in a black teenager from a poor background raised questions about systemic racism and the barriers that prevent marginalized individuals from achieving their full potential. In reflecting on the lasting legacy of The Blind Side, it becomes clear that the film's impact on pop culture and the movie industry extends far beyond its box office numbers and award wins. It redefined what it means to tell a sports story, highlighting the human side of athletes and bringing social issues into the mainstream in a way that resonated deeply with audiences. Its cultural relevance continues to inspire conversations about race, privilege, family, and the importance of opportunity. Through its performances, narrative, and thematic depth, The Blind Side has cemented itself as one of the most significant films of the 21st century, leaving an indelible mark on both the cinematic world and popular culture at large. The Blind Side is a remarkable film that stands out not just for its emotional power and compelling storytelling but also for its deep cultural impact and relevance. From the heartwarming depiction of Michael Oher's transformation to the tender and resilient portrayal of family and opportunity, the movie captures the essence of what it means to overcome adversity and build a better future with the help of those who believe in you. It's not simply a sports movie, though it contains all the excitement and drama of a football field. It is a story about life, about overcoming personal barriers, and about the transformative power of human connection. What makes The Blind Side so compelling is how it transcends the traditional sports genre. Unlike many sports films that focus solely on the game and the athlete's physical performance, this film takes us deeper into Michael Oher's life and psyche, showing us the struggles he faces off the field. It also highlights the pivotal role that external support, especially from a family, plays in an individual's journey toward success. Michael's story, from being homeless to becoming a star athlete, is a powerful reminder that no one succeeds on their own, and that the opportunities we have are often shaped by those who support us. The relationship between Michael and the Tuohy family, especially the fierce bond between Lee and Michael, creates a narrative that resonates deeply with viewers on an emotional level. Sandra Bullock's portrayal of Lee and Tuohy was a standout element of the film. Her performance brought strength, warmth, and compassion to the character, creating a role that was both empowering and grounded in real-life emotion. Bullock's portrayal earned her numerous accolades, including an Academy Award for Best Actress, cementing her status as one of Hollywood's most versatile and beloved actresses. But it wasn't just Bullock's performance that made the movie memorable. Quinton's portrayal of Michael Oher brought authenticity and depth to the character, capturing the complexity of Michael's journey with quiet strength and vulnerability. Together, their performances created a powerful on-screen dynamic that drove the film forward and made their connection feel both genuine and heartwarming. The movie's cultural impact was far-reaching, too. It sparked important discussions about race, class, and privilege, particularly as it related to opportunity in America. While some critics argued that the film oversimplified these issues, it undeniably brought them into the mainstream conversation, encouraging viewers to think critically about how societal systems affect people's lives. Through Michael's story, the film highlighted the importance of providing equal opportunities to all individuals, regardless of their background. It also celebrated the concept of family, whether biological or chosen, and how love and support can change the trajectory of someone's life. At its core, The Blind Side is a film about redemption, opportunity, and the power of kindness. It challenges viewers to rethink what it means to be successful and how we define winning, not just on the field, but in life. The story of Michael Oher, a young man who found his way through a mix of chance, support, and determination, serves as a poignant reminder of the impact that one person or one family can have on someone's future. The Tuohy family, through their actions, showed that love and acceptance can create powerful change and that sometimes, the greatest victories are those that happen off the field. Beyond the heartwarming tale of Michael's rise to football stardom, the film also reshaped the sports drama genre by shifting the focus from the game itself to the personal growth and challenges that athletes face. It proved that sports films don't have to be solely about athletic competition. They can delve into the emotional and psychological journey of the players, their families, and their communities. This shift in perspective paved the way for other films that explore the human side of sports and challenge traditional narratives about success and competition. As the movie's legacy continues to evolve, it remains a powerful touchstone for discussions around race, family, and opportunity in America. Michael Oher's life story, amplified by the film, has continued to inspire individuals from all walks of life, showing them that despite overwhelming odds, perseverance and support can lead to transformative change. The film's portrayal of the Tuohy family's unwavering belief in Michael's potential became a symbol of the difference one person, or one family, can make in another's life. Whether it's in sports, education, or simply life in general, The Blind Side encourages viewers to believe in the potential of others and to offer the support needed to help them succeed. It's also important to note that the lasting appeal of the film is tied to its universal themes. Family, love, opportunity, and the importance of believing in someone are messages that resonate with everyone, regardless of age, race, or background. These themes, combined with the real-life inspiration of Michael Oher's journey, make The Blind Side more than just a movie. It is a conversation starter, a teaching moment, and a call to action to think about how we can all contribute to helping others reach their full potential. Looking back, The Blind Side is a film that delivers more than just entertainment. It is a powerful reminder that life's greatest victories are often not won on the field, but in the quiet moments of love, acceptance, and human connection. Through its characters, performances, and themes, the film continues to touch the hearts of audiences worldwide, and it will undoubtedly continue to inspire future generations to come. As we wrap up this exploration of The Blind Side, it's clear that its emotional resonance, its complex characters, and its social relevance make it a standout film in the landscape of modern cinema. Whether you've watched it once or countless times, the film leaves you with a sense of hope, inspiration, and a reminder of the transformative power of love and opportunity. We've only scratched the surface of everything this film has to offer, and there's so much more to uncover in terms of its subtle details, its cultural significance, and its deeper meanings. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button to show your support. It really helps our channel grow and ensures that we can continue to bring you more exciting content. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next movie exploration, and stay tuned for more captivating stories that dive deep into the world of cinema. Thank you for joining us on this journey through The Blind Side. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration, and we look forward to sharing even more insights with you in the future. Until next time, keep watching, keep reflecting, and keep being inspired by the magic of movies.